So this week, Twitter banned a number of prominent alt-right and white supremacist accounts in an effort to crack down on hate speech. Now, actor James Woods wasn't having any of this sort of censorship of racist propaganda, so he decided to quit the site, prompting other Twitter users to bid him farewell. Now, he posted this tweet last night to Twitter saying, "Since Twitter is now in the censorship business, I will no longer use its service for my constitutional right to free speech." Which is ironic because last year James Woods tried to sue somebody on Twitter for calling him a cokehead. But nonetheless, Twitter.
I had forgotten that. That's awesome.
I was here for that story.
But Twitter users really didn't seem to give a cuck, for lack of a better word, and posted these tweets in response to him signing off the site, calling him a dramatic bitch. Also posting this lovely meme
funny.
here.
That's
Now,
funny.
James Woods is not the only one trying to combat Twitter's new policy against hate speech. The alt-right has also figured out how they're going to fight back by creating fake black accounts. Now, the white supremacist website Daily Stormer says it's already created thousands of black person accounts to troll Twitter. Now, Andrew Anglin, who is the founder of the Daily Stormer, says Twitter is about to learn what happens when you mess with Republicans. Now, he's even provided some instructions, which I'll read you now. Just go on Black Twitter and see what they look like. Copy that model. Start filling it with rap videos and booty shaking or whatever else these blacks post. Read through their posts to get an idea of how they post. You need to be able to post in a manner which is indistinguishable from normal black tweeters. He doesn't say how to use this yet, but he says further orders will follow shortly. So there's a lot in there, right? I just want to give people some background for people who haven't visited the Daily Stormer. Good for you. But at the top there are tabs, and you can pick U.S., World, Jewish Problem, and Race War. So there are some issues with his site, obviously, and so this is just one of many.
Okay, so let's break this down one at a time.
Yeah.
Okay, James Woods. Funny how quickly he got triggered.
Kaboom! Kaboom!
Okay, I thought you guys were all in favor of private enterprise. Twitter is a private company that said, "Hey, I don't like dirtbags." Okay, but you know what? On the other hand, I get his move. It makes sense. If you're, you don't want to do business with them, then don't do business with them, right? If you're really bothered that they don't like racists, and you're racist, and you're like, "Ugh, where can I go find the racist?" Boom, Daily Stormer, no problem.
That's right.
So to each his own. James, you don't like Twitter where they don't want hate. You want to find a place that is filled with hate. We got a website for you. So now, look, I don't know to what degree James Woods is racist, other than his defense of these alt-right guys. There's nobody who's been banned because they're conservative, or they're Republicans, or they voted for Trump, or any of that stuff. You'd have to ban 47% of the country, which wouldn't be good for business.
Right.
No, they're only banning the guys who have explicitly said horrible things that were very clearly racist online. And I don't know that I agree with them, but I don't run their company. Like, I don't block anybody who says that stuff. I don't block anybody, no matter all the horrible, horrible things that people have said about me and others, etc. But I have thick skin, and I don't run that giant company that has shareholders and and board and all the things that they got to do to make money, right? So if you're in the free market stuff, you should be like, congratulations, Twitter, way to run your company any way you like.
Well, I also think that it's not just, if you have your own timeline and you have the right to post whatever you want on your timeline, but if you want to antagonize, threaten, and fuck with other people, I think that's where the issue is. And so for me, basically, like, after the election, I got a bunch of you guys sending me all this crazy shit, calling me the N-word and cunts and all this other stuff. And like it helps me write my jokes because I'm a stand-up comedian and I love when your subjects and verbs don't agree. So I'm not, and you call me smug. You know, you're like, you're so smug, then you call me stupid. And you're like, she's not, she's dumb, but I'm smug. And I'm like, I don't get it, I don't know. She's an elitist, an intellectual elitist. For those of, and I'm like, really? You're just stupid. I'm not an intellectual elitist, you're just dumb. But
There's a difference.
right, that's not, I'm not, and I don't, and I, you know, I come from like the projects. I'm like, I come from the struggle. So when I see people say these things, but what I'm saying is, I say lots of things on Twitter. I have my own point of view, I have things to say, and I think, but I do not have the right to go around messing with other people. And I think that's where Twitter is drawing the line, because they are antagonizing and messing with other people, like they did to Leslie Jones. You know, it was excessive what they did to her. So they were just like, you know what? We've had enough.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I believe in free speech, and I think everybody has the right to free speech. I think when you get into the territory of having this hate speech and proliferating those notions that really target people that are basically different from you, whether or not Twitter wants to ban those users or not, that's one thing, but you're gonna be on the wrong side of history. I think that's sort of the bottom line.
And I just want to be clear. If the government banned your hate speech, then I'd turn around and be on your side.
Absolutely.
And I'd say, no, government doesn't get to do that. If a private company bans your hate speech, that's like their opinion, man. Right? So you got to understand the difference.
It's like that restaurant that says they reserve the right to refuse service to you if you don't have on a shirt or shoes.
Or any sense.
You don't have a shirt and shoes on. So, Twitter said no.
Well, you know, I hope it's not a slippery slope in a sense, right? Because there's a lot of people who I follow and enjoy that are pretty aggressive on Twitter in a sense. You know, I've told people to go F off on Twitter and things like that. And I actually got banned from Twitter for a day because I told someone, you know, as a reflexive joke, kill yourself, right? Can't do that, I guess, for Twitter. That bothers them if you tell someone to go kill themselves. I was like, what? So, like, all the shit that people put out on Twitter, and I can't tell someone in a sarcastic way to go kill themselves because they were being an idiot and we were having a discussion. No, can't do that, turns out. So it is a slippery slope. I don't know. It's weird when you have you know, because it's always going to be where they're going to let some things go that don't make any sense, and they're going to stop some stuff that doesn't make any sense.
It's true. It's true. It's a very hard balancing act. So on the day that Twitter announced this policy, we did a video about it, and I said, you know, I get why they're doing it, but I'm a little worried. I don't want them to clamp down on speech too much, and that's a hard balancing act, right? And if they do it more to the right wing than they do to the left wing, that's also a problem, right?
Yeah.
But unfortunately for the right wing, that's where most of the racists are. And so that's where the hate speech comes into effect. Now, you might think that liberals are wrong or stupid in 1,000 other ways, but they don't often do hate speech. So it's just a bad break for you guys that you got the hate speech on your side. But Jimmy, look, I get Twitter drawing the line on the kill yourself comment. It might be annoying to you and it might be a common joke, but they're like, I'm not going to take any chances with any talk of like killing anybody, yada, yada, right? And so on the other hand, I don't want them banning you or a right-wing comedian or anything like that for a normal range of political comedy, no matter how, doing aggressive comedy is totally different than you're the N-word and I know where you live and I'm coming to find you.
Yep.
Right.
You know?
Right. So let me reiterate real quick what their policy talks about. So they're saying they want to ban people who target other people based off race, ethnicity, national origin, sexual orientation, gender identity, religious affiliation, age, disability, or disease. So I think for you, maybe it comes under disability or disease because depression and suicidal thoughts might fall under that.
But I do agree. I was diseased.
No.
Banner.
Never. No, but I do think you bring up an interesting point, Cenk, because I don't necessarily think that banning these users is the right option, right? I do think that having these sort of notions out there and having people see them being like, okay, this is really scary. There's this undercurrent that's happening in our, I guess it's not an undercurrent anymore. Now it's pretty out in the open. But this is a really scary thing that's happening in our country. And so by banning them, you're only angering them more and fueling that fire rather than having these sort of open discussions, which happen on open platforms like Twitter, to sort of combat these real issues that are affecting our country.
Yeah, and look, guys, one more thing. It really is super tough because, like, people attack me for being Muslim even though I'm agnostic and in fact I left Islam. I couldn't reject it any more than leaving it, right? And I say it's completely wrong, but they don't care. Oh, you were born Muslim, so I hate you, right? That's classic racism, bigotry, etc. I don't really care what your opinion is or what your ideology is. I just care where you were, what you were born, right? Wow. So they do that all the time, and I'm a Muslim lover. I'm all these different things. Look, I don't care, and I wouldn't ban people over it. If Twitter chooses to ban people over it, okay. But what I don't want Twitter to do is to ban people who are attacking me and saying Islam is not a religion of peace. Islam is this bad or that bad or yada yada. Because there is an important distinction there. You've got to be able to criticize Islam and Christianity and government and politics and religion, etc. So if they start crossing that line, that's a really bad line to cross. So now, because then if you were going to ban people based on ideology, then you might as well not have Twitter.
Yeah, I just want to make one quick announcement to all the many people who took a time on Twitter to tell me that I was going to be deported. I was born in Boston, and it can't get any more American than that. I'm also from Puerto Rico, so I don't think I'm going to get deported. But that's a lot. You wasted a lot of those characters on that announcement. A lot of you. You went back. You're going to be deported. I can't wait for you to go back.
You're going to get deported out of America to Puerto Rico. I know what you're thinking about the mainstream media.
Had enough. It's gonna stop.
You know who's gonna stop it? You are. You create the Young Turks. Independent media. You power us. TYTnetwork.com/join. Be the revolution.